Hey class, I always shock myself. So I just wanted to do another quick video for you. This is going to be over section 1.2, so graphing linear equations. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm just going to do just a couple of the problems that you're going to see on my math lab. And here's the first one that you'll see. So one of the things about my math lab that you have to be careful of is how to use the tools. So just kind of get used to using the different graphing tools. When we get into chapter 5, this whole idea of graphing a line is going to be the main part of all of chapter 5. And so we're going to start with, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to graph. One is called graphing with the slope intercept method. And then the other one is graphing just the standard finding the intercepts. So this one, we know it's slope intercept because it's in the form y equals mx plus b. Oh, darn it. Sorry. So I was trying to get the pencil. So this is in the form y equals mx plus b. So remember, when you're dealing with linear equations, the m is the slope. And remember, slope is the rise over the run. So in this case, this 4 is you're going to rise 4 and run 1. So when it's a whole number, you just put a 1 underneath, and now you have the rise over the run. The b represents the y-intercept. And that's literally where the graph will cross the y-axis. So remember, the y-axis is the vertical line, the x-axis is the horizontal line. So in order to be able to graph this, what you're going to do, let me get out of this, is you're going to click to enlarge. And then, oh darn, let me erase my information. Okay, I can't do both at once. So, okay, so we're going to click to enlarge the graph, and here's all the graphing tools that you need. The ones that are going to be important for you to know are this line here means it's a solid line, and that always means that the points on the line are included. This one is what's called a dotted line or a dashed line, and that means the points on the line are not included. In our case, since we're dealing with equals, we're going to use the solid line. Then you come up here and you click on your line tool. So you're going to click on that. And this is where knowing how to graph using point-intercept form is super important. You always start with the y-intercept. So in our case, the y-intercept is -7. So I bring my cursor down, you can see the little gray dot, and I click. Now it's a blue dot. Now from here, I'm going to do my slope. Remember, the slope was rise over run, 4 over 1, which means I'm going to rise 4. Let's see, I was at -7. So -7. Oh, they're doing it by 4s. Okay, so -7, and then up 4 would take me to -3. And you can see up here, this in here, it tells you where your cursor is. So here I am at, oh, that's on -6. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, so I'm going to cancel. So I'm going to start again. Graph, click on my tool. I'm going to come down to -7, and I have to watch that ordered pair up there in the yellow. I can't point to it because it'll mess it up. So do you see how it says 0, -7? Now I click. Now I'm going to go up 4 and then over 1. Okay, so let me try it again. I'm at 0, -7. I'm taking my line, my cursor up 4, which takes me to -3 and over 1, and then I click again. Now you'll notice the line is orange. What that means is that it hasn't been set, right? It's not a set answer. So what you're going to do is you're going to click one more time. When your line is blue, now it's set. That is your answer. Okay, then you're going to hit save, and then you're going to hit check your answer, and you're hoping that it says excellent, and then you go to the next question. Okay, now this question is in a different format. So remember before, the first one that we just did was in the slope-intercept format, that y equals mx plus b. Now you have an equation that's in standard form. Your x and your y is on the same side of the equal sign. That is no problem for us. What we're going to do is we are going to use the intercept method to graph. And what that means is I am finding the x-intercept and the y-intercept. In other words, I'm finding the point that where the line will cross the y-axis and the point where the line crosses the x-axis. In order to do that, I use what's called the cover-up method. So if you need to review that, there's a video called the cover-up method. So what I do is I literally cover up one of the terms, and what's left is a very simple one-step solving an equation. So I divide both sides by 4, and I get y equals 3. This is my y-intercept, okay? To get the x-intercept, I come over here, I cover up the y term, and what's left is I have 3x equals 12. And again, a one-step equation, basic algebra solving. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So now I have my two intercepts. Okay, I have a y-intercept of 3 and an x-intercept of 4. And let's see if I can graph this. Oh, I can move it. Okay, so again, y-intercept is 3, x-intercept is 4. So I come up, I pick my tool up, I put a point at the y-intercept of 0, 3 and click. Then I come over here and I put a point, and notice up in the yellow, notice the ordered pair. That's how you know that you're in the right spot. So I put a point at my x-intercept of 4, 0. The line is yellow. I'm not done yet. I'm going to click again, and I'm left clicking on my mouse. As soon as it turns blue, I know I did it right, or I know it's set. I hit save, check my answer, and yay, I did it right. Okay, now let's try it one more time. Let me erase my writing. Okay, so now you can see we're in the slope and y-intercept. So it's y equals mx plus b again. So we know how to do this. Now this is just asking for the slope in the y-intercept. I'm not asking you to graph it. Okay, there's no graph, there's no graphing tool. It's just asking you to give me the slope and the y-intercept. Anytime your equation is set into y equals mx plus b, super easy. The slope is sitting right here. It's always the number next to the x. The y-intercept is sitting right here. Okay, and that's it. That's all you have to worry about with this one. I wanted to get to another type of problem. For this one, slope and y-intercept, you're going to have to take a look at this and notice first, if it's in y equals format, you have the slope and the y-intercept already there. Remember, the slope is right next to the x. Well, in this case, you have x over 4. This is exactly the same thing as, remember, there is an assumed 1 in front. So this is exactly the same thing as 1/4 x. Okay, so this is your slope. Your slope is rise 1, run 4. Okay, so even if it looks like this, don't let that throw you. There is a 1 in front of that x, and you can just separate it as 1/4. Okay, let me get to the next one that we wanted to work with. So again, here is your equation of a line in slope-intercept form. It's already set. You always start. So I'm just going to walk through this. I click on to enlarge. I hit pick up my line tool. I have a y-intercept of -4, and I notice up in the top right corner in the yellow, 0, -4. So I know I'm at the right spot. I click. Now I'm going to go up 4, 2, 3, 4, and over 7. Now, how do I know which way to go? Well, it's a negative slope. So if I always rise, then I'm going to run to the negative side. If this was a positive slope, I would rise again and then run to the positive side. So I'm going to run over to -7. It's a yellow line. I need to click one more. Now it's set. I save it, and then I check my answer. Okay, so that was done live. So again, here's one in standard form. So first thing I'm going to do is find my two intercepts. Get my pin here. So I cover up one term, and it does not matter which one I cover up first. I can cover either one of them up. So I divide both sides by 8, and I get x equals 1. There's my x-intercept. Now I'm going to cover up the other term, and I end up with -2y equals 8. Don't forget your sign. The signs are important. So I'm going to divide both sides by -2, and I get y equals -4. So there are my two intercepts. Now I'm going to click to enlarge. I pick up my line tool. I go over, excuse me, x equals 1, click, excuse me, down to y equals -4, click. It's orange. I need to click one more time to get it blue. I hit save, check my answer, and I'm good to go. Okay, erase that. So you're going to see that this becomes quite natural for you. So that's how you find a slope. Okay, this is the one that I wanted to get to right here. Okay, so this is a classic linear equation problem where it's a word problem, but you have to come up with the two sets of ordered pairs. Okay, so remember, anytime you're looking for a linear equation, you always need two things. You need slope, that's an L, slope, and you need a point. That's how you find linear equation. Okay, so the first thing I have to look for are the points. So I have a plant manufacturing 50 golf clubs per day at $4,603. So 50 golf clubs at 4,603. How do you know which is which? The X value is always the number. The Y value is always the dollar amount. And your ordered pairs will always be set up this way. Number and dollar amount. Okay. Then they manufacture 80 golf clubs for a cost of $6,403. So the second set of ordered pairs is 80 golf clubs at $6,403. Now I have two sets of ordered pairs. Now I can find everything I need just from these two sets of ordered pairs. So I'm looking for a linearly related function. So I have to find slope. Okay, so if you remember, slope is y minus y over x minus x. So I have 6,403 minus 4,603, and my x minus x is 80 minus 50. Make sure that you use them in the exact same order. Okay, so 6,403 minus 4,603 is 1,800. 80 minus 50 is 30, so I'm going to divide that by 30, and I get a slope of 60. So what does that mean? Remember, slope is a rate of change. So what this means is that it is costing, right? It's costing. If you look, the dollar amounts are on top, the number is on the bottom, right? Y is on top, number on the bottom. If I were to write this as, y over x, it would be dollar on top, number on the bottom. So here's the interpretation of this slope. It costs $60 per one golf club. That's the average rate of change. That's the rate of change that is the cost is changing every time I make a golf club. Okay, and that's what slope is. It's just a rate of change. It's how things are changing. The cost of the golf club changes by $60. It increases $60. If this ended up being a negative 60, then it would decrease by $60 per club. Okay, so we have our slope. Now we have a point, and we can pick either set. It doesn't matter. So the second step is, the next step is we're going to use our point slope format. Remember this equation, point slope equation? So it's y minus, and again, it doesn't matter which set I use, just as long as I use the same set, equals my slope of 60 times x minus x. Okay, so I used this set, this ordered pair right here, and now I just clean it up. So y minus 4603, I distribute, multiplying through 60 times x, and 60 times 50 is 30 with 2 zeros, so 3,000. Then I'm going to add 4603 to both sides. So my cost function is y, so I'm putting it back into the y equals mx plus b. Y equals my slope of 60, x plus 16, that's 03, isn't it? 1603. 4603, sorry about that. 4603 minus 3,000 is 1603. This is the cost to manufacture golf clubs. Okay. Now, once I get that, then I can graph it. Okay, I can graph it. Now, you can use a tool, an application called desmos.com. You can do it that way, or in your let's see if they, yeah, so they're having you match. So let me 60x minus 1603. Let me erase all this. And I end up with the cost equals, oh, it changed the numbers on me. Dang it. So we're going to keep it over here. So 60x, it changed the numbers on me when I had it show. That's the problem. It's the problem with doing this live. So 60x plus 1603 was our equation. So then what you would do is you would go through and you would look at these, look at each of these. When you take a look at these graphs, you can enlarge them. So just click this bottom one and you can enlarge it, and you can kind of see, you know, okay, this is between 0 and 200, and this is between 0 and 20,000. So you can see which graph is going to make the most sense. Okay. And then interpreting your answer, just remember what I said, the slope is how things change, right? And then the y-intercept is the fixed cost. So in this case, in ours, the 1603, the fixed cost is what it costs me no matter what. Before I ever get a golf club manufactured or made, it's going to cost me 1603. Then every golf club that I make is going to cost me $60. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I'm trying to keep these short and sweet so that you can just watch them real quick.